Hey guys, today I want to talk about one of the most famous campaign in Kickstarter history, and I'm talking about Exploding Kitten. But before we go there, what I want to discuss is that why this campaign was so successful. So the game itself, it's okay. It's a family friendly game, and nothing you really want to write home about. But behind the art style and behind the community growing, there is this guy called Matthew Inman, and he runs this very popular website called The Oatmeal. I actually have a couple of his books. These I bought before. This one is called Why Grizzly Bears Should Wear Underpants. And then I have another, How to Tell If Your Cat is Plotting to Kill You. And I don't know if you can see inside. I'll try to. But basically, it's just comics, really short comics about silly stuff. And that's what he's been doing for the past few years. What was genius about this Oatmeal approach was that he's being basically sharing everything that he did. So stuff that he would normally sell in books, he was sharing it for free on Facebook, on Twitter, and then of course also on his website. His comics became extremely popular. They became extremely popular, and that's what made the campaign explode. And now we're going to go there in a second. Okay, so this is the page for Exploding Kittens. It's a campaign that was run already some years ago. I think it was 2014 maybe. And actually this campaign raised almost $9 million, and it has 219,000 backers. And why? The game is just a silly little thing. If you have no idea what it is, imagine something on the line of but with more silly cards in it. The thing is that a lot of his art is basically all the art is based on his own work, but it doesn't have any kind of mechanical effect that the game would work with any kind of art. It's just that people that were following him back to the game just to get his stuff. And we have to say that prior to the beginning of this campaign, he already had like 1 million followers on Facebook, and I don't know how many on Twitter. So he was really popular. And immediately when the campaign was online, first of all, he had an incredible reach. He could tell almost 1 million people, hey, this thing is out. He didn't do it by himself. There's a team of designer with him. I don't remember their names. But then, yeah, of course, he had this incredible reach, and also people that maybe were not following him directly, maybe had seen his comics and got immediately drawn to the game. Now, we're not here to discuss how the game works. It doesn't really matter. You can purchase it. It became really popular even after the Kickstarter. You can definitely find copies around. But yeah, as you can see, there's his silly art everywhere. And basically, I mean, if we would remove the artwork from these cards, the game would be nothing special, and it would actually work still. His art is just what drew people to the campaign, and also what makes the game in a way so funny, even though mechanically it's not this incredible thing. They did several games afterwards. They also took part in events with really silly booths. I remember one booth that was basically a giant kind of a wild animal with people hiding inside, and you could give money through a hole in the booth, and then they would throw out some prizes. It was really weird stuff, but absolutely amazing branding. This was at Gen Con a couple of years ago. But what is also very incredible here in this campaign, it's to grow the number of backers to those numbers. They came up with a list of these are the three designers you can see here, like Matthew's in the middle, and the other two are actually the guys making the game. What's incredible is that they came up with these stretch goals that before this campaign no one had done. And how would you unlock these stretch goals? Actually, the way you unlock the stretch goal is the creative part here, because okay, you can see here you start with 100% funded, 1,000% funded, 10,000% funded, and these are kind of the traditional way of doing it. But then if you scroll down, you can see stuff like post 25 pics of a real taco cat. So they were asking people, dress your cat as a taco and take pictures of it and share them. And this definitely worked. And then they had post 25 pics of magical enchiladas, post 5 photos of weaponized back hair, post 25 selfies with goats, and people did it, and that was fun. And then they shared it with their friends, and that's what got people's attention and drew them to this campaign. Now, I'm not 100% sure where these pictures are. They're probably in the updates. But I don't want to go dig there now. I will put the link to this campaign under the video, so you can go check it. But they're definitely there because I saw them at the time. And then they have like stuff like pics of the beer cat, potato cat, post photo people wearing cat ears. And then we have, oh yeah, this was fun. This was definitely one of the best. I post a picture of 10 Batmans in one hot tub. So they did this really silly stuff at the point when they realized we don't even need the money anymore. We just want to have fun. People went along with it, and this is what drew people to the campaign. I'm not saying that this approach works for every game out there. It usually doesn't. In this case, it works because the subjects of his comics and the subject of the game also is completely stupid. But when you're thinking about ways to unlock the stretch goals, you can also be creative like that if you see that there's an opportunity for the community to follow along, and you think at least a few people will try to do that. So sometimes it's important to just have fun with your community. And well, this is more or less what I wanted to say about Exploding Kitten. There's much more to learn from that campaign. I invite you to take a look and study the reward levels, the reward tiers, and how the community responded to it. To go check the comments, go check the updates, because it's a very iconic campaign from Kickstarter. And what's important is that the game is just a simple card game. There's no miniatures. Sometimes you don't need to have these games that cost $50 per copy to produce. You can make something very simple and still make it appealing. Of course, this is a different level, but think about something you could learn from this campaign to make even your very small game a bit more interesting. If you like this episode, I want to remind you that there are more lessons about crowdfunding at academy.writingball.com. You will see the URL over my head. You can join at the moment 2 courses. The first one is free, is the full first module of the complete course, so you get a feeling for what it is. And then when you enter the full course, there are a couple of options. Actually, there are 3 options. You can get just the content, and the content consists in I show you the curriculum in over 40 lessons that cover every aspect of a crowdfunding campaign for games. And then if you're interested in getting some guidance, there are also options to have calls with me, and then we will go through different ways to set up your campaign. Actually, in here, I go a bit more into detail what these calls would be. For example, here I make an example, but they can be adjusted to your own needs. We check what is the plan, we make sure that nothing is left to chance, and then we do a final check before launching just to make sure that everything is in place. But of course, according to your needs, it can be adjusted. So once again, academy.writingball.com, you can see the free course, and then if you like it, you can also join the full course. This is it for this episode of Kickstarter campaign analysis. I hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next one.